Please note our demo platform uses fake data, so any sales results shown in this video are not real.
Query Builder has been designed for when a user wants to either get a lot of data out in one report or because the user wants to customize the view of the data they're analyzing. Query Builder is great if you want to see volume and value next to each other, for example, or also if you want varying timeframes in the same dataset. It's also useful for big data analysis projects where you want to review a lot of SKUs, perhaps for a category management project or for forecasting. First, choose your number, format or measure. Do you want volume, value or customer count? Also, if you operate in a category where there is a volume equivalence or conversion, you can choose that. Second, pick your timeframes. You have the option to pick a custom timeframe or one of the preset dates via the lozenges on the left-hand side of the data selector. Note, if you choose one of the previous options, this is for rolling timeframes. If, for example, you'd like to see the latest 4 weeks versus immediately preceding 4 weeks, choose 4 weeks to year and then select a second time frame and choose previous 4 weeks, which will give you rolling. The reason we have the same option for 52 weeks is that our MAT is based on ISO weeks and can therefore have 53 weeks in it. If you want an absolute comparison of 52 weeks versus prior 52 weeks, use the previous lozenge instead. If you wish to select a custom time frame, click on Custom and then choose your start and end date in the boxes. Please note that we only report in whole week segments, so the start date will always be a Monday and the end date will always be a Sunday. You cannot start or end a report on any other day. You then have the option of how the time frame you have selected is broken down. If you use the slider to choose Show Weeks In Results, this will return your data by week for whatever time frame you have chosen. If you do not move the slide, you will get a single figure for the time frame chosen. Like-for-like reporting will ensure that any results contain the same data by day, year on year, for any time frame you have chosen. This is just insurance in case there is the odd day missing from the dataset because the wholesaler was unable to submit it, albeit that this is quite rare. Finally, you need to choose the wholesaler you want to report sales for if you're on one of our buying group platforms, or select all. Whereas if you're on one of our single operator platforms like CJ Lang or UWS, this option will be removed as the default is to report total sales for the operator whose platform you are on. You then click Next and the following page allows you to determine how you want the data broken down. So, for example, if you want to see all products in soft drinks against the time frame and measures I selected on page 1, I would pick product description by clicking the box and making sure it's highlighted. I then need to limit the result set to just soft drinks, so I click on the filter button on the left of the department button and enter soft drinks in the filter. I know the filter has been picked up because it changes colour. I can then choose to add extra fields into my data to help with sorting once the data comes out. For example, if I've selected all soft drinks, I might want to return brand and supplier name in the data to help when I'm analysing it. By clicking the buttons for brand and supplier, these fields also will be included in the returned results. Once you're happy with the selections you have made, you can click Next, and when the query is returned, it will be in a flat file CSV format for you to save locally and work on. However, if you're using the latest version of TWC's SmartView platform, you will also have the option to change the layout of your results set and return the data in a pivot table style format. So, for example, if you have returned 52 weeks sales by week, a flat file would put each week into each row of data, whereas the pivot option allows you to specify that you would like weeks returned left to right in column. Equally, if you're on one of our buying group platforms, you might want to return the member name in your results. Again, with the pivot option, you can choose whether members are in rows on the left or columns left to right. Finally, it means you can layer your data, so perhaps department, brand and SKU on the left in rows or along the top in columns, or change the order of your volume and value fields and your this year and last year fields. Simply click and drag the lozenges into the rows and column fields just as you would if building a pivot table in Excel to design your report layout. Once you have finished your layout as a pivot, click Next. This is the last page before you execute your query. Always make sure at this point that you have something in the chosen filter box on the right-hand side. This just means that you have put a limit on your results set and you won't be querying the whole database. You also have the option to give your query a name, which means you can identify it easily in the future if for some reason you need to revisit it. Hit the Run Query Now button. This will dispatch the query off to the server to run. You will get two messages. The first will tell you that your query is being loaded, and the second message will say it is queued at server. Most queries run in 2 minutes or less, although some big queries for some buying group clients can take longer due to the volume of data, and custom account queries can take longer because of the calculations to execute an accurate, distinct count on customers to give a true distribution figure rather than a sum of customers. You always have the option to leave queries to run and come back later to use them. Go to Query History and all of your queries will be listed there. You have the option to download a previously completed query, rerun a query, or even schedule queries to run every week or every month automatically. You can also do this in the Query Scheduler page. And one more thing, please remember this data is commercially sensitive. Please protect your username and password and do not share them. And please do not share the data except with the wholesaler who supplied it to you.